For my human movement analysis, I have chosen to analyze a handstand. The handstand is an acrobatic technique involving the switching of the base of support from the soles of the feet to the palms of the hands. It is a fundamental skill performed in a variety of sports such as gymnastics, circus, diving, and dance. More specifically in gymnastics, the handstand is considered one of the most important fundamental skills due to the fact that skills derived from this technique, or finishing in the handstand position, are performed on all 6 male and female apparatus. The handstand position, though, has a much longer history than its applications in modern sport. Its roots can be traced back as far as 2,500 years as part of the traditional skills of yoga in India and Greek military training. Until recently, the most accepted ideal form for a handstand was the curved back handstand. Holding a handstand in this position is much easier than the currently favoured straight back position, as there is less reliance on the fine neuromuscular control and more of a reliance on brute strength. There are many variations of the handstand technique, such as the press to handstand, swing to handstand, and wide arm handstand. I will be focusing on the lunge to handstand movement, which was performed on the floor and is also known as the kick to handstand. The ability to maintain this position is largely dependent on entry, body shape, and balance. There are many biomechanical factors which contribute to the handstand position, and these are shown in the depicted performance criterion. There are 4 key biomechanical factors within this performance criterion that will be the basis for this analysis of this skill. These are the velocities of the lunge and tap movements, the center of mass displacement over the center of pressure, dynamic balance, and joint angles and body line. The velocity of the lunge and tap motion is a key component, as this is the force generation phase of the movement, which allows for the transition of the base support from the feet to the hands. If the movement is too slow, not enough force will be generated to create an impulse strong enough to change the horizontal momentum begun by the lunge motion to the vertical momentum required to change the base support. The second movement within this skill is the displacement of the center of mass. For the handstand position to be achieved, the base of support needs to transition from the feet to the hands. This causes the body to elongate, as the extended length of the arms is now contributing to the overall body length. This transition causes the displacement of the center of mass, moving it towards the shoulders. This is an important factor when considering maintaining balance within the handstand position. Due to the smaller base of support and the changed position of the center of mass, different balancing strategies need to be employed. The wrist, elbow, and shoulder strategy are the main balancing strategies employed to maintain the handstand position. These are similar to the ankle, knee, and hip strategies employed in normal walking gait. Though the handstand position is a static position, it requires dynamic balance to be maintained. This need for dynamic balance is due to the constantly shifting balance between anterior and posterior forces and mediolateral forces. These forces are controlled and opposed through the torques generated at the wrist, shoulder, and hip joints through the application of muscle force, allowing for a stable pose to be produced. The angles at the joints and the body line they create is a critical factor in maintaining the handstand position. If any segment of the body is out of alignment during a particular phase of this movement, it will reduce the performer's ability to hold the position, as this will increase the force acting upon that particular body segment. As with the dynamic balance component of the movement, it is key that these angles are in a state of equilibrium. I will now begin the analysis phase of this presentation. In this analysis, the technique of a novice performer of this skill, my roommate, image on the left, will be compared to that of a veteran performer of this skill, Christopher Remkes, image on the right, athlete at the AIS Gymnastics National Center of Excellence. This analysis will break down the technique of the skill into 5 key stages. These are the setup, the lunge, hand-to-floor contact, the tap, and the handstand position itself. Setup will be the first phase to be analysed. The setup is a crucial phase in the handstand, as it is here that the body line is first established. Comparing the technique of the novice performer to that of the veteran performer, we can analyse the good points and bad points of their technique. Good points of the novice performer are that their shoulders are extended above the head below 180 degrees, beginning to create a body line. Bad points in their technique is that the stomach is not contracted, meaning that they will not be able to create the tension needed within to hold the position once inverted. Their front knee is bent too much, placing too much weight on the front leg for this stage of the movement. Moving on to the next phase of the movement to be analysed is the lunge. The lunge is the first force-generating phase of the movement, and so is a very critical movement. Good points in the novice's technique are that their elbows are locked and their wrists are extended, ready to take weight once they reach the hand-to-floor contact phase. Their hip angle is also open, meaning that they will be able to begin developing body line once they begin the kick motion. Bad points in their technique are that their stance is too short, meaning that less momentum will be generated in the lunge motion. Their shoulder angle is also moving the shoulder away from the ears, and this is disrupting the body line and will change the body line away, take the body line away from the base of support in the final motion. The next phase to be analysed is the hand-to-floor contact. This is the transition phase. Good points in the novice performer's technique are that they have a good body alignment through the trunk with an angle close to 180 degrees. Their weight is also correctly distributed with the center of pressure moving away from the back foot and towards the hands. They have good hand placement at approximately a shoulder width apart with the fingers spread as much as possible. Bad points are that they have, again, too small angle at their shoulders and are not pressing the shoulders towards the ears, disrupting their body line. Their stomach is also still not contracted, meaning they will not be able to create tension through the motion. The tap is the second phase of force generation. Looking at the good technique components of the performer's technique are their body line is almost 180 degrees at the trunk, and they have sufficient weight transfer from the feet to the hands. Bad points in their technique is that their head has moved out of body line and they have too much extension at the lifted leg for this phase of the motion. They also have a curved spine instead of an arched. This means they will not have the disc shape needed to maintain the straight-backed handstand. Finally, I will analyse their handstand position itself. Good points of the novice performer's technique are that their elbows and wrists are locked, and the knees and ankles are also extended, creating some body line. Bad points are that their body line is behind the shoulders and not over the center of mass. This means that they will have additional posterior forces acting upon their body, causing them to fall backwards. Their back is also curved in the banana back position, with the stomach not contracted, meaning there is not enough tension within all the body segments. The main issue with the novice performer's technique is their body line. If correct body line is not attained, is it impossible for them to hold the handstand position? To correct this, some interventions could include exercises such as a rear support hold with the shoulders and ankles supported on blocks. Another exercise that could be used to correct this factor in their technique is handstands with the stomach against the wall, as this forces the performer to hold their body line. Improving arm and core strength would also help in maintaining this position. This could be done through a strength and conditioning program. This concludes my analysis. Thank you for listening.